Hello YouTube, Damo_23 and welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. In today's episode, we do have the start of Season 15. We will be playing Valencia on the opening day. However, if you guys know me, we love the early transfer business. And unlike last year, it was a little bit of a rush and we had a torrid time in the first half of last season. This year, we've been in charge for a full pre-season. We've got the players in that we want and we have built the squad that I don't think is going to win the league this season, but a squad that will potentially grow into being league champions. If you are enjoying the content, do give it a like, just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you should give me a like anyway because I lost the Copa America final last episode in really extreme, disappointing, disgusting football managing terms. It was not great scenes at all. If you want to go watch a guy go absolutely crazy watching his team only put 32 shots at goal and only putting 4 on target and having an XG of over 3 and losing, last episode. Go check that out where we strive to be the best Brazilian manager. We're not. We are still in charge of Brazil at the moment. I'm torn if I just resign or not. I'm tempted to resign and just focus on Atletico. The Spain job came available, decided not to do it, which could have helped me in my rebuild here at Valencia, but I don't particularly think we need to do that either as well. Now, let's get into transfers, etc., but I want to just set the theme here first, right? So, the league has been won, a lot of this say between Real Madrid and Barcelona. If anything, I think the entire say has been Real Madrid or Barcelona. So, there we go. Now, we stopped Real Madrid winning the league last year. They lost on the second to last day to us, and they lost to Hippos on the final day where they could have won it. So they only got to 93 points. But as you can see here, 93 and 94 points. Do apologise for the darkness of the camera, by the way. I am filming this before I go to work. There is a slight possibility I have a shower, get changed for work, and have enough time to film the Valencia game without being live on stream, but we'll see what happens. But as you can see, 93, 94 points. 94 points won the league the year before. 102. Barcelona lost the league with 99 points because Real Madrid got 102 points. 98. A 99 and a 94, 100 and a 97, a 96 and a 90, a 99, and that 2027-28, 87, and that was the first year Madrid or Barca have been in the top two. An 88, a 99 and a 93, a 93. You see what I'm getting at? If you average all these out, and that's the start of the save at 93, average all that out, we need about 95 points, more than likely 95 plus to win the league. 95 plus. That means we need to go and win about 30 games of football. Now, is our team good enough to do that? Not yet, but we do have a good amount of players that can do that, and then we'll obviously have a look at what that means for us moving forward. Now, some of the signings, there's a couple of guys that you already know are coming in, or there's at least one, which I'm going to recap. But I think what we've done is got to remember there is still 6 seasons or 5 seasons left. You got this season plus all the rest. Season 15 now, you got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and last season, season 20. So, including this season, we've got 6 seasons to win this league title. It ain't going to be one like I did with Dortmund, and it ain't going to be one like I did with Monaco, where we are a world-class side that have got big pulling power and off we go. We're also a side that don't have a lot of financial power. Now, we've got back up to 103 mil via some sales, and we've also got up to 103 mil for some cash injections, etc., which is great. But by the end of the season, we're going to be down at about parity again before the board injects some cash and we get our prize money. With that being said, we've got to be smart with our business. We've got to buy younger players in the sell for bigger, or we've got to buy younger players that have world-class potential that we hold for dear life and put big minimum release fees in because it's Spain, hope they get triggered, so then we've got that money to spend on maybe some guys in their prime that are of world-class ability. So that has been the plan, where at Dortmund and Monaco have kind of been, who's really good, let's bring it in right now. This plan has been, who could potentially be good, let's see what we can do, and off we go. So, main reason I'm filming this as 2 separate parts as well is I want to give you guys a big in-depth breakdown. I've done all this on stream. I have made all my stream vlogs available. I will say that's because had a public holiday and we've been streaming a lot over the weekend. The YouTube's about 5 episodes behind. So, if you're watching a vlog, a vlog or a post-broadcast on my Twitch, and you're watching the up-to-date ones, it might be slightly ahead of the YouTube. But anyhow, let's go in here and see what we can do. So, we're going to go in order of signings, right? Now, 2 of these guys are first teamers, one's not. Now, David is Quizio, you guys know we signed. Now, he was at Almira. He was pretty perfect. At Almira, playing at a 6.8, 6.9, part of a very weak defence, was one of the best right-backs in the league, was occasionally on the Media Dream 11 Team of the Year. Page, 7 caps without playing for a major club in Spain. There's not much more to write home about him. He's 24. If you watch Zealand's newest video about how players develop, 26, 27, they really stopped developing. Stopped completely. So there's still a touch of development left in him. Borderline world class. He is, as you know, stats 15 plus for me are in gold, because if they've got 15 plus stats of 15, then they can, for me, they're considered world class because they're just so well rounded. With that being said, he's very borderline with that. He's physically a monster, gets up and down, and a lot of these 14 stats, which you can see are here, like the first touch, the crossing, and even a couple of these 13s, if we work on them specifically, could get up to the position of, well, you're a very good footballer, David, you might be one of the best right backs we used in the save. So he comes in with big amounts of whatever there. Because we signed these guys before the window, I like to do my stuff early. They come in last year's, even though it was the first and the seventh. Milos Petrovic is another first teamer that we brought in, and this one just was because he is so well rounded. Now, if you have a look, he was over in Serbia, moved to Milan for only 5 mil, got a couple of loans where he played okay, and then played 30 games for AC Milan at a 6.92, 18 off the bench. Reminds me of a certain Roman Tisny or a Remoto, where at Milan I did that. Slowly integrated him, took him to a bigger club, or not a bigger club, took him to another club where they would play. Tisny grew into being world class. Iramoto grew into being world class, and we reaped the benefits. I think Milos Petrovic kind of fits that bill. At 21, has got another year or two of really rapid growth before that starts to plateau out. And if you have a look at him in the hole, I think he's a perfect backup, perfect player to come in outside of Joe Felix. Mentally very switched on, 17 passing, 15 vision, technique, work rate, teamwork, beautiful. If you have a look at the stats of the 15 pluses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 already. Without saying that, at 21, anything 13 plus will probably get to 15 more than likely. So already at 12 there, we've got 13, 14, 15. Leadership's hard to grow. Flair, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. The reason why we picked him up is there's potential. The most I've ever had on a player, out of the 36 stats for an outfield player, the most I've ever had was 22 with a guy called Nildo at SFB, and if you're a long-time watcher, you know exactly who that is. We've had a few guys at 21 that have been in and around there. Aristobal, for instance, had 21, who we can't get to on this save. Would love to, but Aristobal is balling. But look, Milos Petrovic is going to be great. Roman Tisny levels, if he develops into what he could develop into, be interesting to see how he goes. Last one is a more of a future transfer in terms of he's got resale value. That's correct. I've also targeted resale value. We're not making a ton of money at Atletico, so I want resale value. By the way, he's not a bad centre-back. So when you go to Serbia and you go key players, Vasic is their key player. I disagree. I think Petrovic and Markovic are all better than him. But for whatever reason, he comes in as their key player, probably because the game just says, sure, he's in good form at Partizan. Now, what I have done with Vlasic, if you have a look at him, is he fits a bill. He fits a bill being powerful and strong and decently tall at 6'2". Not good technicals, okay mentals, but very, 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 very good physicals. 21, which means he can develop. And for me, the reason why I think it's a very good signing for us is because two things. If he comes in and plays well, his value is probably going to go up to about 20, 25 million. And if someone wants to hit his release for a 50, if he's insane form, by all means. Secondly, if we do have an injury, he would be third choice and he would be able to play well with Okafor, who I am planning on triggering his loan optional fee at the end of the season, which is fine as well. But look, I just think he fits a lot of the bills, ticks it off, he's of a level of this division, jump up from Partizan, but this is more signing him, he's young enough to still develop at 21, and then we're going to resell him on for more than a 3.2 to create some extra transfer funds down the line, I think is always going to be the plan. We now get into this season, let's go and have a look at the outs here quickly as well. One big out, the rest have been whatever. And saying that though, Manuel, who was sitting in my reserves, went for 9 mil. Don't ask me how, but he went for 9 mil, he's not that good. But the big thing here for us is Bradley Sears had 1 year left on his deal. He wanted to stay, wanted to give him a rotation contract because he did well enough when he wasn't injured last year. A lot of injuries, has to be said. I think we mentioned it in a couple of episodes, he was always injured. But yeah, a moderate, a major, a moderate, and a slight, all in the last year. So what I did was, okay, Bradley, I want to give you a rotation. No, I'm an important player. Well, no, you're not. So with a year left on his deal, I offered him out. We got a couple of bids. I didn't want to sell him in the league. We had a 21 mil bid from Wolves, who just got relegated to the Championship. He chose to actually go to Sevilla in Spain. He wanted to stay in Spain. I just think it makes a lot of sense. As much as he's good, it makes a lot of sense because It gives me more funding to do elsewhere out of this 56 because I didn't want to blow the budget. Now, let's go in order here as well. We've got categories of players. Players that are going to impact the squad now, players that I think are going to impact the squad in the future, and players that I've brought into resale if they hit their potential. Andrew fits kind of the second mould of resale. One of those compensation, 1.7 could raise to 3.8. He's a very good under-19s football at 18. He's got 1 year of under-19s football where he can get strong development sitting in the 19s. And I brought him in with the intention of going, he's actually not a bad left winger. We actually have struggled for a good left winger to come through. We didn't get a good intake last year, apart from the Australian, who also can play left wing, but also in the middle. So for me, I brought him in with the intention of sit in my 19s, be a very good prospect. You got good resale value? Yeah, got 6 mil. Someone told me next year's worth 10 mil when we picked up 10 mil for free. I'll take it. Very well rounded though, and he has a lot of potential. If he works well and develops quite swimmingly, you could expect this guy to maybe play a couple minutes towards the end of the season. For me, this guy's not going to be a factor until he turns 19, in a year's time. This time next year, we'll evaluate his growth, and it's either do we resell, do we loan to sell, loan him out a couple times to sell, or do we start playing him? We'll find out. Barcelona, we poach one of their prospects, that's fine. Felix is kind of in the other bracket as well in terms of could be resale. We only picked him up for 2.7 mil. My thing with Felix is, unfortunately, he's injured, is I really like him, and I think he's going to be here long term as maybe a backup attacking midfielder or backup inside forward. If you have a look at him at 17, he's got a couple of years of under-19s football. I'm going to keep him in the first team because he's well-rounded and usable at 2-star. Doesn't have big potential, but good potential. And you have a look at those stats at 17. I'm a big believer anything 11 plus at 17 to 18 can get to 20 or can get to 15. As long as you're training the right things. And if you have a look at that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's potential for 17 stats there to get to 15. That's the potential. That's a world-class footballer. That's someone that's well-rounded enough to play in the hole, or on the left, on the right. We haven't had that versatility player. 17, Norwegian, been capped at 17 years of age. Get him in. He's one of the 2 Norwegians that come in. The other Norwegian I'm just going to do now as well is a left back that's 16, even younger, been capped twice. He could be our future left back. He's fantastic. I've also brought him in with the case of if we don't have the money at the end of the season and Okafor can't come back, so be it, from Leipzig, then look, we've got a backup left back. This kid's got to play under 19, just develop. Jan Andre Nygaardberg is mentally well-rounded, physically fantastic, and if you have a look at his technicals, a lot of 10s. At 16, 10s are generally not too bad. So put him in the 19s. Hopefully he goes into dominates. I'm really looking for my 19s to kick off the gear as well. This has been the most long-term project we've had in Glory Hunter, so I'm really excited. And at 5'5", could still have a growth spurt. I think he's a very good footballer. With that being said, let's move into a few more first-team players here. And now it's about building depth. Now, Enrique Robust is a very good left winger. Barcelona, 21 years of age, 18.25 mil release fee. I needed a backup left winger because I was going to sell Sears. I also needed someone that could potentially play on the right, which I'm going to train him to do, even though he's left-footed. We've seen with Dieter that right footer on the right gets a lot of assists because they just use their right foot to whip the ball across to Vera. I might do that on the left with Enrique. Song did not have a good year last year. So Enrique, who's been away with the Spanish under-23s in the Olympics, a lot of our squad has, comes in, and I like the look of him. Where maybe he won't have that many 15s, he's got the right things in the right areas. He's got crossing ability, dribbling ability, technique, determination, flair, and pace, and good pace. Pretty much my height and my build, 67 kilos and about 70 with 5'8", so he's not too bad at all. I just think that he's a great signing because if he hits his potential, he's one of the best wingers in the league. And if he doesn't hit his potential, I think that as long as he's playing minutes and regular minutes, he's also sellable down the track. 18 mil, I think would recoup about 25 to 30 of that once he develops and as long as we build our squad very well. In saying that though, I think that this guy's got a lot of potential. I think he's potentially could be the left winger by the end of the season. If Song has another poor bad year, I'll just move Song to the bench because he had a really bad one last year. But that looks like Enrique could be potentially the future. Then we've got Kai Jan van Dogenaar with a great name. He's a wonder kid, just turned 20, so the wonder kid thing generally peels off. But if you have a look at him as a backup 10 to backup Petrovic, how good. Mentally so well-rounded. Technically got very good stats. Physically not bad. At 20, yet again, anything 12 generally gets there. Determination, obviously leadership take a little bit more to develop, so that doesn't happen. But look, you've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stats of 15 plus. 9 stats. Make that 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 potential stats. And a lot of those 14s will probably be 15s by the end of the year. This guy by the end of the season could be in our team. He also can play off the left, and I might train him to play off the right. I also think that there is a world where he could play as a very aggressive Segundo Volante. There's a few things I want to do with him. However, we'll play that by ear and see how that goes as well, with what the team looks like. Lucky last, we needed another backup centre-back, and for 15 mil, this one was a little bit more of a punt. Yazza and them, I would much rather tall, big, physical centre-backs. Could not find one for the life of me. But the thing with Yazza Erdem is he's 23 and he's actually got very good stats. He's got great headering and great tackling and good marking. Yes, he's 5'10", so be it. But what he has also got is decent pace. He's also got good potential. You look at him and he's a good first division player where if he hits his potential, he's very, very decent. Now, for me, as a backup centre-back to play alongside Vasic, I just think he makes our team a little bit better. Now, we did pay his 15.5 mil release fee or 2.5 mil release fee. Out of all the ones, this one's the punty of the lot. This one's one where it's going to be very much dependent on how well do you develop playing off the bench and how well can we, as a club, resell you. I think there's a lot of a world where we just get our money back on him, but I also think there's a world where he develops a little bit, gets good form, and off he goes. Important to say, yet again, Newcastle, Real Madrid, and AC Milan are interested in this guy, and so are Juve. Which kind of makes you think that the game thinks he's about to take the next step. You can gain a lot from when you're scouting. If a big teams are interested in a player, the game knows for whatever reason. So I think he's not bad. Also, when you look at it, I think by the end of the year, all those physicals will probably get to 15, and his marking will get to 15, and that probably puts him in a very good spot where he's very physical apart from his jumping reach. So I think he's a very good footballer. I think he makes a lot of sense to bring him in. And we'll see how he goes and how he develops. That leaves me in a spot where the league, the game thinks we're going to finish in third, and a comfortable third from Hippus. And I think we are starting to take ourselves out of this side. We've got the average age down from 28 this time last year to 23, which is great. And we're starting just to build a squad that will eventually grow into being a challenging team with Barca and Madrid. Towards the end of the season, we beat Real Madrid, we cost them the title. We beat Barca in the Spanish Cup semi. We started playing good football in the 4-2-3-1. I have got full confidence in this side. If you have a look at the team there, they reckon Tyrone in the hole and playing Song back a line and Kamar starting. I don't know why they think that. I'm trying to sell him. But yeah, look, I think we've got a good team. If you have a look at our best 11 here, we've had players come back from the Olympics and whatnot. If you have a look at our best 11, it's Radicic, Inquisiero, who's fantastic and our best footballer. Saints, Stinberg, Alberto will be here again. Tyrone and Joe Victor. Dieter, Petrovic, Song, and not Danny Schmidt. Where is Vera? There he is. There we go. And if you look at that team, I've got a very good midfielder in Tyrone with another good midfielder in Victor. I've got a world-class right back, a very solid back four with a solid keeper that's developing, a decent winger, a decent 10 who's going to develop, a good left winger on paper who's not had the best of year but had a good preseason, and Vera who is only going to get better. So when you look at that, I'm starting to look at that team and go, not bad. Biggest thing for us is I don't know how we're going to get there, but that 88 mil future fee, we need to find a way to trigger that because he is going to be unreal, is Tyrone. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go have my shower. I'm going to go get ready for work. More than likely, this game is going to be filmed tonight when I get home, but who knows, maybe, just maybe, we might get there and do it today right now. See you guys in a second. That was the big squad breakdown. Unlike going through and scouting and showing you who we're looking at, those are the guys. This is the team. That is the squad. Will they challenge for the title this year? Maybe. Will we be there and thereabouts for the title in a few years' time? I think so. Welcome back in YouTube. Welcome back in indeed. It's the opening day of the season away from home against Valencia, a side that did beat us, obviously, in the run-in to finishing top four last year. They did hold their own and beat us 2-0 away from home. It's the opening day of the season. It's not going to be the easiest game, that is for sure. However, I am confident in the squad that we do have available to us. Important to note that we do have, unfortunately, Dieter not 100%. He's failed his fitness test. My plan this year is to get Campo to develop, play, and try and make him as good as possible. So Campo is going to start out there on the right-hand side. I could be playing and giving Robust his first game, but I'm going to give Campo minutes and we'll get Robust off the bench as a little bit of an impact sub. Outside of that, the rest of the team picks itself. It's Radicic coming back from the Olympics. Is Quiziedo, who's our best player, Saints, and Tim. Saints now the new vice captain. Alberto, who is captain. Victor in the deep line playmaker role. Tyrone, I don't know how we're going to keep him here next year. I don't think it's going to happen, but what a footballer. I'd so wish to keep him here. He's got a contract at Dortmund till 2040. I might try and loan him in again. See if they would let me, but I doubt it. Campo though, Petrovic on his debut, obviously Song and Adrian Vela. Obviously got players coming in that could be making their debut today on the bench as well. I think the squad's in a really good spot. Let me know in the comment section down below where you think we're going to finish. And let's get underway and see what we can do. I will say that future long-term is to find a big, massive centre-back that is good. And then from there, move Saints into the middle of the park for probably, it would be for, in an ideal world, Joey Victor, but it could be Tyrone because he might not be here in a season's time. I don't expect to win the league this year, but I have called via stream the race to 95 points or 95 points needed. I'm going to put the figure out there. If we get to 95 points, that is the points required to win the league, I feel, if you get to 95. Which is ludicrous to say that you need 95 points to win a league, and even with 95, I can't tell you, but certainly you do win the league, because Real Madrid or Barca will get 97, 100, 102. You've seen it all previously. Now, opening day, away from home, Campo's starting the youngster, because I think minutes for him is going to be vital to make him become world-class. I will say that this is a game that if you offered me a draw right now, I'll take. Now, Song's had a pretty poor year last year. Gets on a run. Vera made a good run through the middle. Had to have played Vera, but he went for goal. And Song's starting exactly where he left off last year, very poorly. A poor decision from the South Korean. Not at all what we wanted to see. Tyrone, though, on the set piece, and he whipped one into the front stick, and it is a push there. And it looks like we're going to get a penalty very early on here. A few lads went for it. Looks like Tim was pushed under it by the looks of things. And a penalty has been given. Here comes Vera to open his account. Vera steps up. Can he get us underway? He does. It's a good penalty from the Argentinian. He did miss in the Copa America final, but scores for us. So there we are. And it is 1-0. We open our account. And unlike what we did last year, where we couldn't score against Valencia, we've taken our penalty, and Vera gets his goal-scoring run started. Now, Quiziedo, who I expect to get a lot of assists this season for how good he is. Petrovic, Joey Victor, Tyrone finds Tim, Joey Victor and Saints. We look to link up at the back, which is perfect. Can go the other side. Instead, Campo drops in nicely, has to be said by the 19-year-old, and keeps it well. Saints, Tyrone, Campo. Great run from his Quiziedo. Can he whip one in there? Is Quiziedo. Fight to Tyrone. Campo's with him. Campo cuts it. Vera blocked. Somehow it's not gone in. As if Vera didn't put it across the keeper there for 2-0. It was very well worked. And to be fair to Campo, very well done from the 17-year-old, who I expect to have a very, very good year. We've been much the better side here than Valencia. It's a great time to be playing a team like this early on. I think it just really helps us out. And look, so far, very good. Song's picked up an injury. Look, Robust is going to go in there because he's learning that role, and that's fine. Tyrone's got an injury as well. We're going to wait for extra time here because that's a stoppage, and I don't want to force another stoppage. And Tyrone is at half. I'm going to come off as well now because I don't want to risk this injury. Got to move Saints into the middle of the park. I'm going to give Vasic his debut as well. Vasic is going to come in more as a central defender on cover with how good he is. And Tim on the other side there too. Saints will come in more as a defensive midfielder on support, ready to hold midfield down, plays that role very, very well. So there's a couple of changes there. And away we go. 1-0, 47 minutes played. Song with an injury, hopefully not long term. He copped a lot of injuries last year, which really hurt him, which is why Robusti has come in. And Robusti is a player that I think can learn to play that role very well, the lad from Barcelona. Anyway, Muro plays Rado Jedic, and his run goes forward, and that's only going to be as far as Vasic, who's got time, and he plays one out to Alberto, Tim, Joey Victor. Robusti drops in, And it's a ball looking for Campo. Good width. Lefts it for his Quizieto. Makes a great rerun though. Campo cuts it towards Vera. Unfortunately doesn't find him. Vasic of all people didn't want it. And Saints has been left for dead. Right. If this is a goal, I'm going to be livid. And Radicic... Well, let's just recap what's going on there, because that's a lot. We were good in here. We're good in this situation. Campo should have took control and allowed Quizieto to get beyond, but that's fine. At what point do you think the centre-back's not going to pick this up? If the centre-back takes 4 steps forward, he just hits the ball up and off we go. Somehow Vasic forgets there's a ball there. Saints gets beats in the race, and then just... This is an interesting save from Radicic, isn't it? It hasn't gone in the back of the net, but you got hands, buddy. You got hands. You're allowed to use it. It's 1-0 still. But if they were to score from this corner, I would be crying for what I've just seen in the highlight. Ball in front stick, Job. What the flying fuck did I just watch? What did I just watch? I didn't even go for a whole day worth of work and I have a sore fucking neck to come and sit here and watch that shit. 1-1 because Football Manager decides it has to be 1-1. No other reason. Wow. That is utterly stupid game. We got FM'd on the opening day last season. It's now 1-1 here. Not getting as FM'd as we did against Real Sociedad last season, but that is a highlight that you look at and go, what is this game smoking? Like, they really need to improve this game for next season. The amount of goals we've conceded in this save, that it is just the concoction of stupidity is ridiculous. Anyway, Jai Victor, Vasic, Saints, good run from his Quizieto, Campo, good touch inside. Very well done. I'm really happy with how he's played. Robusti flicks on. Vera hits it straight at the keeper. And world-class Vera misses from point-blank range. XG of 2.2 plays at 6.3 and 0.4. Sounds like last year, doesn't it already? Quizieto is dead. We are going to get him off here. We do have Jean-Philippe, who's very good cover. With that too, Petrovic is coming off for Dogana. There we go. I got it out my mouth there eventually. Vera's had an okay game, but not a great game. I am going to bring Campo off, even though he's had a very good game in the match rating 6.6. I feel like he's done a lot right. Very harsh match rating. I'm going to bring Danny Schmitten on because he's very good at coming inside and finding a goal. And let's see if we can find one here. Would take a draw on paper, but this has been a game where we don't deserve to be 1-1. But it feels like it's going to finish 1-1. Time ticks away. 90th minute. Can we find one late doors here? I said I would take a draw. So let's look at the positive of we got a draw against a team that beat us in the league last season. We picked up an injury and their goals come through utter stupidity. Utter stupidity. How Vasic does not step up and just pick the ball up and off we go. And how Radicic, instead of picking it up, decides that he can like playing without arms and just passes it out. Stupid. Anyhow, weird highlight. Yet again, Football Manager. The amount of times I've said that we need to see an improvement in next year's game. They'll never watch this, so what's new? Hopefully we do get improvement or else we would all be riding. I'm telling you right now, I will be buying next year's FM, but if it's the same match engine with the same amount of stupidity as this year's match engine, I won't be buying a future Football Manager, and I've been playing FM since 2013. Damaged elbow song came off with. Well, toughen up, mate. Tyrone's out for 1 to 3 days there as well. It's an important point away from home because it is definitely a difficult game. The goal for this season is, of course, to finish inside the top 4 and to be a bit more consistent than last year. That's probably not the greatest start. However, we will be okay. And I'll see you guys next time for another episode. Thank you very much. Catch you later and goodbye.